Hello, welcome to the Random Car Channel. Today we're going to change the spark plugs and coils for a 996 Porsche Turbo. The spark plugs are somewhere behind this wheel and bumper area, and the manual tells us that we'll have to take off at least the bumpers. I'm thinking I might take off the wheel too and be able to access this whole section here. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the wheel off and then looking into taking off the whole bumper. Let's start easy with the wheel. Okay, so next I'm going to take out this inside liner. I think the goal is to really try to access the spark plugs without removing the bumper, but we'll see. So for the liner, there's a couple of Torx screws and 10mm nuts. So 10mm and T25 Torx screw. Let's get those out. Also, there's a couple of Phillips screws at the bottom. So a nice combination of fasteners for this liner. I futzed around the liner. I was unable to get this piece off of the screw to get off. But anyway, looking at behind the liner, I don't see much of the engine. I probably only see like the first coil. So I'm going to might as well remove the whole bumper. You may see out there that others have been able to do it without bumper removal. That's cool, but I'll just go ahead and remove the bumper at this point. Okay, so let's move on to the next step, bumper removal. Okay, so first step in bumper removal is getting the tail lights off. So there's two Phillips screws. Let's remove those screws. Okay, the screws are off, so next is sliding the tail light out. Yep. Alright, so next is removing these 4 T25 screws to remove this strip here. Okay, so I'm going to go down under this side of the car on the right side and look for those first screws. As you can see, along the black trim, there's a Torx. That might be bigger than T25. It looks like T30. And there's another one down here, getting close to the exhaust pipe, and then all the way across. So let's start on this side and work our way across the car. So, with this loose, I'm able to, looks like I'm able to work out this liner. Let's see. There you go. Pops out. Looks like we could start seeing the first coil over there, but once again, it looks pretty crowded. Where I probably would rather just take off the bumper. Alright, let's continue the bumper removal. I got all the screws down from the black strip underneath. Fender's wiggly. You notice that it's not wiggly up here because on the other side, next to the dead spider and up, there's a Phillips screw where you want to remove. So next, I'll remove that screw. And now the fender's all loose on this side. Just repeat on the other side of the car and go on to the next step. Okay, next step, going to the bumperettes, pop out this little plastic cover and remove the bolt. Okay, so all the bolts are out. Next step is removing the bumper. While removing the bumper, watch out. There are wires connecting the light to the license plate. And in my case, I also have this aftermarket little camera there. So we'll see how that works. All right, let's pull that off. Okay, so we got the bumper off. Next is to get this whole intercooler housing thing out of the way. So, okay. We take off this T30 bolt here and look for a bunch of other screws for the bracket that holds this. So we'll start here and work our way around. Actually, that bolt is a T25, not T30. Okay, next couple bolts, I'm gonna go underneath. And let's see. Remove this bolt and this bolt on the heat shield here. These two bolts attach to the bracket of this intercooler housing. So let's get those two bolts out. I believe they look like, yeah, 13mm bolts. All right, let's go to the back of the car and remove this and this bolt here. Okay, so next go on the fender well and remove this bolt here next to the dead spider and the two bolts in the back. Okay, so these are 13mm bolts. Okay, so next step is to disconnect the intercooler. So there's a hose you want to disconnect over there, and there's another one on the back here. Let's start with the one back there. Okay, so in the wheel well, I think you could take this off and do it, but I see that most use unbolt the clamp back here. So I'm gonna unbolt the clamp back here so I don't have to deal with others. So let's go under the car, get a screwdriver, and loosen the clamp here. So back here, there's a clamp. You can see that silver clamp. Just use a screwdriver to pull the clamp off. So all the bolts are disconnected, the hose clamps are disconnected. Now slide off the whole assembly. Okay, so that was the bumper removal and intercooler removal part of the video. So if you want to watch the part where I get to the spark plugs, here's a link that you can go to. This is a two-part video, so go on to the next video to see the spark plug and coil change. If your goal was just to take off the intercoolers, well, there you go. You just reverse the process to put it all back together. Alright, so thanks for watching. Click like, subscribe, and put any comments down below. And good luck on your next project.